initially Nalanda was a suburb of Rajgir, and Rajgir, being the capital city, was the a place to be in. It was sort of New York of that time. So everybody came. Buddha himself came before he gained enlightenment, and after he gained enlightenment, he did his sermons at Sarnath and then came to Rajgriha. And in Rajgriha, it was in Rajgriha that he met these two, Sariputra and Moglayana, who became his disciples. So Rajgir was an economic center, Rajgriha, and this is the reason probably that Nalanda, which was very close to Rajgriha, but also the birthplace of Sariputra, around which the whole Nalanda University or Nalanda Mahavihara uh, is built. So Sariputra's, temple number 3, which is the highest structure at the site of the ruins of Nalanda Mahavihara today. That's the Sariputra's stupa, and it has been built over 7 successive phases across more than 1,000 years of construction is there. So the first stupa was built by Samrat Ashoka, who lived in Patliputra. His capital was Patliputra, as we know. And but he built this stupa in 3rd century BC for Sariputra at Nalanda, and around which the university grew. So this is the location of Nalanda, not only close to Rajgriha, but also very close to Patliputra. And the place, being blessed by a Naga, that Magad area has a very has a culture of, or had a culture of, serpent worship. So one of the key traditions is to worship the serpent, and there is also, early Buddhism, you have the worship of the serpent and the tree. And so Nalanda was a place which was blessed by a Naga, so it was actually Nagananda, and that's how the legend grew, that Nalanda was also name of a Naga who used to live in a pond full of lotus and full of mango groves, surrounded by mango groves, which was also a favorite place of Buddha. He often went there to give his sermons. Mahavira went there, and other Shramanas, other philosophers stayed in Nalanda. So place itself was very historically and spiritually important, and it was actually Sariputra's birthplace. The second reason was, of Nalanda's rise was its location in the fertile plains of Magad. So that area, where Nalanda is located, is a very fertile land actually, and you have lots of ponds around the site of the ancient Mahavihara. And monks, they require a continuous supply of food and clothes, etc. And they are not producers, they are not farmers, so they depend on the food produced by somebody else. And that area could have supported even 10,000 monks during its peak. So so that was also a factor in mind. And of course, Nalanda's, as I said, Nalanda's historic and spiritual and religious significance. A place which is not only blessed by the Naga worship, Nagas, Nagananda, but also a place which is inhabited or frequented by philosophers such as Buddha and Mahavira and others.
You write that across the centuries it was a center that received patronage from different empires, from the Guptas to the Palas, and of course there was Emperor Ashoka himself. So was this royal patronage purely an act of religious devotion, or did rulers see Nalanda as an instrument of political or cultural influence? Also, what were the benefits, both tangible and symbolic, of aligning with a prestigious center of learning like Buddhist learning?
Well, so see, the Vihara was founded by Ashoka himself, who was
Hmm.
along with the stupa of Sariputra in third century BC, founded a Vihara, not of concrete, but of perishable materials those times. But later on, Nagarjuna is considered to be the first philosopher who
Hmm.
is associated with Nalanda, and his philosophy Madhyamaka or Shunyata was taught at Nalanda, mainly Madhyamaka. And later on, in 5th century AD, or 5th century Common Era, you can say, Sakraditya or Kumar Gupta I, who is a imperial Gupta ruler, is credited with establishing the first concrete monastery there. Now, Guptas were mainly Hindus, Gupta rulers, though there were no such boundaries, emperors of the same dynasty, they used to choose different paths, religious paths or spiritual paths. So, for example, uh, the Ashoka was a Buddhist. He turned into a Buddhist, but his father Bindusar was a Jain, and among the Guptas, the you know uh, Guptas were mainly Hindus, but some of the Guptas had affinities to Buddhism. So Nalanda, by the time of the Guptas, Nalanda is credited to be founded by the Guptas, who were the Hindus. But So the main, I think, the goal of founding Nalanda was to have a great center for excellence in Magad, because to uh, for to build an empire, you need trained people. You need people who are well versed not only in Buddhism or Hinduism, but you need people who are well versed in finance, in mathematics, in medicine, in various areas. So Nalanda became a center for universal learning. So when you look at uh, the books carried by Swen Sang in 7th century to
Yes.
China, you find that he only carries a number of Buddhist texts. The other texts are of Sanskrit grammar, of uh, various disciplines, medicine and so on, logic, and and so on. So Nalanda had a secular curriculum in the sense that it had a universal curriculum. Everything was taught there, which was available. So, and that's the diverse tradition where you find Aryabhat, teaching mathematics, being the first mathematician to use zero as a digit.
Zero as a
So,
digit.
so it was mainly to have not only the religious, teaching of Buddhism, but Guptas saw it as a potential place where the trained mind could come out.